Are you shopping on Penguin Magic and thinking about buying the Box of Powers? Well, I'm not quite sure how much longer it's going to be around, so you better. What even is this music? I made notes for this video, so I'm all prepared today. Penguin Magic is a trusted company within the world of magic. Don't be fooled by the website's basic layout. This is probably one of the best kept secrets in the industry. While they sell standard magic supplies, they also sell their own exclusive magic tricks. And this Box of Powers, while marketed as a beginner magic set, is actually a collection of some of their best-selling items. I wanted to highlight this set because it's a magic set for ages 10 and up done right, and it's not just a list of magic tricks that are already in the public domain. Like, these are legitimate products, and they're not just like tossing a sponge ball and a thumb tip into a box and saying, have at it, or let alone like, you know, made a desk knick-knack to give to you to make you feel like you got something. These are some of the best sellers, and they could have called this like the Best of Penguin bundle, but a normal person isn't gonna know what that is. The trouble with this set is the future production of it is completely uncertain, so I wanted to talk about it now, about what it does right, so that way maybe this video could inspire future releases. This has 2 decks of cards in it, and the pen, which is long. I think there's a lizard in the bush. Do you like magic tricks, lizard? Okay. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is the box. And those of you who know me know that I'm not a fan of just the high production value boxes, because I think they're just a waste of space. This stuff, because it's mostly 2 decks of cards, which after extensive use are going to get a little bit rugged, and you're not going to want to store them away. You're probably going to want to throw them out. And then it's just storing like a pen and the ball and quarter and the additional gimmick here. So I will always advocate for just a plain box. But like, if you're getting a gift for someone, right, you kind of want it to look nice. So I guess that's a pass. But again, I'd rather just, if you're gonna give me the Best of Penguin, just stick it in a brown box and send it to me. That'll be enough. Let's talk about the props you get with it for a second. You get 2 decks of cards, you get a pen, you get a quarter trick, and then you have a gimmick that you wear on you. And these are all things that you can just carry on you easily. Granted, it might not be comfortable to have a pack of cards in each back pocket, but you could have a shoulder bag. And I think that's a lot better than having to like carry sponge balls in your pocket, or a silk, or a stir stick, which nobody carries. There's a time and place for that, but that was probably like, that's probably a different audience than what the set is aimed at, if that makes sense. These are all things that you can have on you without impeding your daily life. As far as difficulty goes, the tricks in here aren't that difficult, I don't think. I think they can still provide a challenge, which is good. I do think doing some, or having some prior knowledge about magic would be more beneficial than just buying this set cold. If you learned just some basic card tricks and basic coin tricks, I wonder if there's a playlist for that. Then I think that would help you when you actually get this set and expand your knowledge just a little bit more. And, you know, Penguin has some free like beginner magic course videos that would go great with this. It's just they don't advertise those as coming with this. I'm just going to put the links for those in the description, so that way you can look at them later on your own leisure time. Take note though, they're a little old, so keep that in mind. So oddly enough, the instructions they created were made specifically for the set, even though they have instructions for these products when you buy them separately. They just decided to film a whole new project, which after watching this, for the trick Moneyball and Stealth Pen, I don't think you need the original instructions from the creators. I think you'll get the point just fine. And then for the other ones, like for the decks of cards, when the cards, get rugged, you'll eventually buy one of the decks yourself, and then you'll have the instructions. And then for the Raven, there's a hawk over there. Wow, there's just all sorts of wildlife. I gotta get out more. Did I time it right where I said Raven and there was a crow? For the Raven, you can just buy the instructions off of Penguin. You don't have to buy the additional gimmick. Going off of that though, this set does feel like a bit of a sampler, because they're not giving you the full project for some of these things. Like the marked cards, I know when you buy a set of marked cards, you get an additional video from John Armstrong. With the Raven can be enhanced when you purchase additional props, and the fact that they don't really go in depth with the everything they teach, presumably on the Raven download that you can purchase from them. Don't get me wrong, you can still learn what they teach in the set and perform the tricks just fine. It's just to give some of the things the enhancement that they need, you will have to make some additional purchases, which will take this $60 product presumably up to, like, maybe at worst, $100 product. After all that talk, I do just want to very quickly just kind of get some thoughts, or share some thoughts about what they give you. Moneyball, because it's money and it's a ball. The reason why I think that's there is because the common trick, or the trick they could have put in, is the bite out coin, which, as I mentioned, Illusionists did for their set. I'm easily distracted. But the issue with the bite out coin is that is a little costly to produce, so it couldn't be included in here. This is a good trick, or I like the visual of it. The Stealth Pen, or the pen through anything. I had one of these a while ago. This looks identical to the one that I had. So on Penguin, they sell the Stealth Pen for 20 bucks, and I really don't think this trick is worth $20. So I'm much happier getting it in a set with other things, because I know what this is, and it's not a $20 product in my personal opinion. It is a good trick. You can keep this on you and be ready to go anytime. I would recommend, if you can get another pen cap to go on this end, that way you don't lose any of the pieces. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, and that's it. So I have had a deck of Penguin marked cards. These are unopened, but the deck that I did have, I gave to someone else. Not because they're bad. I do really like them. Here's what I will say about the instructions that they give you in this set, though. There's really only one good trick with the marked deck, and it's taught in this book, thank goodness, because this particular trick, it's Alcoran's Double Thought, which is a standard trick to do with a marked deck of cards. It's just, for whatever reason, it's not taught when you get a marked deck sometimes, and it's like the staple piece of information that you need to know. The other tricks that they do teach with the marked deck, I just think are kind of lame. because it falls into the category, it doesn't even fall into the category of magic tricks. It's like, okay, I take a card and I'm going to memorize which card, by looking at this deck of cards, I'm going to memorize the order of them and thereby determine which card you must have taken. Like, that's not magic, that's just a memory demonstration, and it's not even a real memory demonstration. You're just claiming to have a real ability that you can train yourself to have when you don't have it, which is silly. There's like a basic like card force taught as well, but you don't really need a marked deck for that. The marked deck is really good as a fail-safe. Not that there's any like specific tricks. I can't think of too many tricks that you will need a marked deck for, but it's really good, as Garrett Thomas has taught, for checking your work during the course of a trick, so that way you know you're in the spots that you need to be. So it's a good tool to have. Just the tricks that they teach you just aren't my personal favorite. In the book, they also teach you how to use, one way to use the, we'll call it a DB card, and the blank card. And the blank card is used for a trick where you can cause the deck, I mean, but just by knowing that it's a blank card, you can imagine how the rest of this goes. You show a blank deck, and then one card prints, and then they all print. So there's a couple of tricks that you can do with the marked deck. Just, I have a certain way I like doing things. Use your best judgment. Okay, here's something that's really good. The cartoon deck. Apparently, prior to this year, this was the only way to get a cartoon deck that had the like bicycle air cushion finish. The other ones were just cheapo cards. So if you don't have some of this other stuff and you want the cartoon deck, I do think this is the way to go. This one isn't opened because I have another one that is opened that I bought earlier this year, and the cartoon deck has been one of my favorite tricks. It's just the one I had, like I said, the one I had a long time ago got destroyed. It doesn't look good. Here's a picture. Yeah, I don't want to use that one anymore. So last but not least is the Raven Mini, and this is the Raven Mini. Now, I have an original Raven, and so when I heard that this set came with a Raven Mini, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, what? I have a Raven, I don't really need a miniature one. But I think this one is even better than the original because it's a smaller magnet. And because it's a smaller magnet, whenever you have to magnetize it to another object, it won't make a sound like the other one does. Unfortunately, there's no way to buy a miniature Raven. You can only get the Raven Mini from this set. So, I know, what a big secret. I wish I would have known about this a long time ago. I do think to get the most out of this, they teach you some ideas with the Raven in the video, but I think you should invest in a what's called a steel core quarter. That will give you another option with the Raven gimmick. It's just, that's gonna be an additional $20. Okay, so I would like to mention as well just some things that I probably would have changed for this product. One, as I already said, I'd want a different box because I think I'm minimalist. I think a better option over the Moneyball trick probably would have been the self-tying shoelaces, because that is, when you think of Penguin Magic and the tricks that they sell, that is probably at like the top of the list. This set is nearly the David Blaine Street Magic set. You have the Raven for one. You have a quarter trick, which is supposed to be like the bite out coin, but they couldn't include that. And then self-tying shoelaces would have been just the cherry on top. Additionally, Penguin sells some downloads that don't require any props that I think would be helpful in this as well. Pinky Thing and I think linking laces would have been a good one to include with this set, because there's just a ton of stuff on Penguin, and so they could have included just a little more. Penguin now sells a product called ties, and I think that would have been a good addition as well. Penguin used to sell, or they still do, a magic set by Losander called As Real As It Gets, and that came with a similar gimmick as well as a thumb tip. That set's a good set too, I just don't recommend it anymore because of DVDs. But that would also be another option that I think would be nice to have in this set. Having a thumb tip is always nice too. Like if they combined those two sets, that would have led to an interesting result. I do appreciate the clear expectations that Nick Locapo sets at the end of the video. I don't remember what he said exactly, but I know he said that, look, you're gonna perform these tricks for your friends and family, and if you mess up, that's okay. You know, they're your friends and family, they know you don't have magic powers, you're just having fun. And it's better to experiment in that safe space to really learn. And the second thing that he explains is why it's called P3, and that stands for practice, practice, perform, because the idea is you're not just learning this stuff, you're supposed to go out and actually perform it for people. You're not just supposed to have the nice box and display the box on your bookshelf and be like, I have the box of powers. You need to, it's about putting in the work and sharing the craft of magic with others on this world. So I know I said quite a few critiques about this set, but trust me, this is one of the better sets to come out on the market. It ticks two boxes for me. It's a good set if you're starting to learn magic at an older age, right? And it's a good set to mess with some good Penguin stuff. I really appreciate the work that went into this set and the value they put in it. And I hope that in the future, Penguin can create something even better. That's it for today's video, and I will see you next time for some other beginner magic course. See you then.